Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back with another Legacy League, and today we're playing Esper Tempo. We've got 4 Tamiyos, 4 Psychic Frogs, 3 Orcish Bowmasters, 3 Murktides, and a Brazen Borrower. We are going to use these tools to inflict lethal damage upon our opponents, but only after we have seized control of the game. Speaking of seize, we've got 3 Thoughtseize. We've got the 4 Daze, 4 Force of Will, 4 Wasteland, Classic Tempo, Disruption Package. We've got tons of removal. We've got 4 Swords of Plowshares, the best removal spell ever printed. 2 Prismatic Endings, the second best removal spell ever printed in my opinion. And we've got 2 more in the sideboard. This is really good against Tempo. Any deck that's playing a lot of 1-drops and 2-drops, Prismatic Ending is very strong against it. Then against red, we've got 3 Hydros. Against Artifact Strategies and Eldrazi, we've got 4 Consigned to Memories. And we've got an additional Orcish Bowmasters for Control Mirrors. And we have a Plains, which is just really good in situations where we want to have a basic land. We are a 20 land deck. We have a very responsible mana base. We have 2 Surveil lands. That is the latest innovation, is going ahead and packing a second Surveil land in there. And then you might be asking, what do we do against Reanimator? What do we do against Nadu? What do we do against Mystic Forge? Well, Grafdigger's Cage hits all 3 of those archetypes pretty well. So we are playing 3 Grafdigger's Cages and a Surgical Extraction, which is pretty good card. Just overall, it's kind of a Swiss Army knife card, and it's even better with Thoughtseize in the deck. So let's go ahead and jump to the rounds. As always, we're going to play 5 league rounds, and I encourage you to leave timestamps with any feedback you have for me and for other people watching. If you notice me doing something wrong, point it out. It's to everybody's benefit when they read the comments, and I will never shoot the messenger. I always appreciate feedback, and I always respond to comments. And be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers so I can get into the MTGO creator program, and I can start playing a wide variety of decks without being limited to what I can get in my budget. Thanks, and see you in round 1. Round 1, we're likely up against Beseech Storm. I say likely because our opponent was playing it a few days ago. They've got quite a few trophies with it. It is a deck that I love to shred with my anti-combo deck. So let's see. They've got 2 Tendrils main deck. Beseech. Interesting they have 2 Tendrils. Spoils of the Vault. Choose a card, reveal cards until you reveal that. Like, gosh, this is a high-risk, high-reward card. Entomb, Dark Ritual, Echo of Eons. This is an interesting build. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm pretty intimidated. One thing I don't see in here is Vexing Bauble, which is kind of nice. I think we're going to hopefully get a lot of mileage out of our Thoughtseizes. This hand is a Force of Will double Daze hand, and we're on the play. I'm definitely keeping this. I do like the ability to potentially kill some of their permanents with Prismatic Ending. In terms of permanents, they do have just like, if they float a Lion's Eye Diamond, if they play a Wishclaw Talisman, we can get those. In terms of lands, they're barely playing any. They don't have any multi-face cards. This almost feels like a deck from an older era. So I'm pretty excited to be up against it. So, of course, there's risk and reward with fetching a Surveil land here. That's fine. So they are going to be able to turn on Metalcraft pretty quick here. LED. So let's double check. They're not playing... Oh, they are playing 4 Veils. That's scary. They're passing. I am going to most definitely snipe that Lion's Eye Diamond. That generates a lot of mana. All right. Let's go get our white source here. We're looking at dodge, stuff like that. We definitely don't need that. Okay. That's a bad card. I don't think they have a single creature in their 75. Yeah, this is a terrible card, unfortunately. They do have Urza Saga in their sideboard, and they do technically have some creatures, but these are most definitely coming out. So that was a bad draw. But we would have gotten 2 consecutive bad draws. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play out the another fetch, and I am going to go ahead and just end this LED. So the reason they play those out, by the way, like you would never play them out, but Vexing Bauble has completely warped things to where now you do want to play those out. Okay, interesting they chose the flow to black just because I guess it's shut off from there on, so there's no downside to it. Entomb. They're going to entomb an Echo. It's not worth stopping it. I can just daze it most likely. Yeah, I'll just daze it. Like I want to get their hand empty. With all the interaction I have in my hand, I think it's extremely unlikely that they're able to get off an Echo around everything I have. Also, if they have like an LED or something, I could just force that and then they don't have the mana. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal that card. I don't have any pressure is the thing. So this is a situation where I could just daze this. They're probably just going to name like a land. I'm really tempted to just daze this. I don't have anything going on. It sucks that I'm not going to be able to surveil. Yeah, I think I daze. It just seems too powerful for them to be able to get like any card in their deck right now, even if they're going to pay some life in the process. All right, so they still don't have the mana they need to be able to do anything. Psychic Frog is quite good. I think we just jam it. Now, this means that we're almost certainly going to have to pitch, but we do want a game plan here. And just outdrawing them is a game plan. They need an artifact to be able to tap this. Spoils of the Vault. Gosh. I mean, there is a chance that they like do a lot of damage to themselves and we can just kill them. I'm kind of interested in letting them do this. We can't daze. I think they're going to name LED. Okay, they named Lion's Eye Diamond. They found it. I think I'm just going to force this. And that might be a questionable play, but they did just spend a lot of resources to get that. This keeps them off Metalcraft. Daze is a great pickup. I'm going to go ahead and attack, and I'm going to discard 2 cards. I want to do enough damage to them. We definitely don't need that. And we don't need this. Force is definitely the best draw we can get, but I'll take a lot of things here. I think Ponder's fine. I'm going to go ahead and Ponder. Oh, maybe we Ponder, and if we keep this up. It's really like a pretty big toss-up because if we find... I think we're a higher likelihood to find a Thoughtseize. This Force is spectacular. It just does shut off a lot of things that can happen here. Yep. All right. And next turn, we've got a second frog coming down potentially, or we can just not even play a frog and we can just hit them really hard. Oh, do we want to play this out? I think I'm going to... So we saw we're going to draw a fetch. Let's see. If we... I don't think we pitch anything here. I think we just take our time. I like having both Daze and Force up. And I will play out this land because it gives me a Surveil trigger. And if they do something like Grid, I'm not sure if they have Grid in their deck. I'm not sure what they're entombing here. They entombed a Spoil of the Vault, it looks like. A second Echo? Is that what happened? I think it was the second Echo. It's so hard to tell. Okay, yeah. Echo of Eons goes in, and then this resolves, and this goes to the graveyard. Okay. This is exciting. This is the kind of combo I like playing against. I don't like playing against, totally degenerate combo. Oh, wow. You're going to tap out completely. Well, I may have bad news for you. That's probably GG. I'm trying to think of... They're going to play it out. Okay. And then I'm going to go get my Surveil on. Borrower, not strong. It is a blue card for Force. I think we can do better. They will have Constructs in next game, so that'll be something to consider. I think I'm just going to attack and not discard anything because they're dead next turn anyway. We can definitely kill them next turn. All right. Let's see. Can we definitely kill? Yeah, we can definitely kill them. We just need to discard 3 things. Yeah, I think we just chill. And we can potentially put back 2 cards. All right. Exiling. What do they exile? Green? Another Beseech. I think I'm just going to force with the known cards. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, and they can't have an answer to this, I don't believe. They could have like Pact, but I don't believe that's in their list. And we have 3 cards to discard, so yeah, we got lethal on table. Okay, cool. That was just hating out all their little angles. So Grafdigger's Cage does stop Echo. It also stops Gaia's Will, which is in their deck. I think it's better. Like, okay, let's talk about what we can take out. We can definitely take out the plows. I think we take out my island here. Brazen Borrower is not the worst because they are going to have constructs potentially. I think Bowmasters is a good card here. I think Prismatic Ending is quite good. I think Consign is fine. It just ends their chain though. It's not like that shattering. Same thing with Surgical. I think Surgical is not that great. I think we could take out a Murktide just because it doesn't really give us any edge. It just helps us end the game. Yeah, I think I'm going to take that out. All right. And we will run it with this. Again, Grafdigger's Cage, seriously good card if we can resolve it. Because it shuts off Echo Line and it also shuts off Gaia's Will lines. They're going to expect Consign to Memory, but I do think we're better off without it. It's precisely the kind of card that's going to get Thoughtseize out of our hand. Are they not playing Thoughtseize? Yeah, their list is really weird. Duras. Okay, so yeah. We'll see what they do. This is a Thoughtseize hand. It doesn't have a ton of interaction. Yeah, I'm going to mulligan this. That's a much better hand. My goodness, this is so much better. It's not even funny. And I think we put back Thoughtseize because we don't have a black source, even though it is good. I don't want to put back a blue card. So turn 1 is going to be just sticking a Grafdigger's Cage probably. Okay, if they don't crack this, I do want to end it. We drew a Thoughtseize. I think we do end. Not sure what they can do at instant speed. I'm surprised they played that out. I think given that I did the exact same thing previous game, they're going to surveil. So we're not out of the woods by any means, but if we can find a black source, we'll be in a lot better shape. This is their turn to potentially wheel, but the fact that like we nugged one of their LEDs already probably restricts what they can accomplish here. I'm just going to go for this. I think this is a better play in terms of locking them out, and then we can Tamiyo next turn. I don't know if they actually play anything that can get rid of this. Let's see. They still have Song of Creation line. They can, of course, just like storm and do other things to stop us, but the main concern I have right now is them pivoting to an Urza Saga plan. Okay, that's 3 lands, 1 artifact for the purpose of Metalcraft. They're passing. I think we do Tamiyo now. Yeah, definitely Tamiyo. And Tamiyo is good because if they do somehow get like some sort of draw 7 off, we are going to be able to plus it, and I doubt they have a way to deal with her. I think it's just a matter of time before they draw an Urza Saga, though. I'm trying to think of what they can do here. I'm going to let it resolve. I don't think they're going to be able to wheel. I could be dead wrong. There's land number 3. Song of Creation, Beseech, if they have Dark Rituals. There are lots of things they can do here. They could, just do a bunch of storm stuff. Whenever my opponent proactively plays it out, though, I do presume that they're trying to bait me somehow. I'm at 20 life. They're going to need a ton of Storm, and they're not going to be able to wheel the easy way. Song of Creation. Okay, can't be countered. They're discarding their hand. I don't mind. I don't have an easy way to get rid of this. They had Beseech in hand. I'm going to just frog and attack. I don't think there's much else we can do here. We're never going to get up to 4 mana to get rid of Beseech, or to get rid of Song. We're just going to hope that we can stop the critical cards in the chain. I think Thoughtseize and most likely, yeah, I'll just probably be pitching Daze to Force here. And next turn, I'm going to be probably pitching both Thoughtseize and Prismatic Ending to Psychic Frog just to do more damage. Like, basically, we're going to try to race them. If they don't draw something they can cast, we're in a good place. Elvish Spirit Guide. They do get to draw 2 cards for that. They don't have a lot of mana available. Urza Saga. That is the card that I was afraid of. They have one more spell, one more card in hand. All right, they're discarding it. All right. Yeah, I think we fly the frog. We drew a Force for turn. Actually, Thoughtseize is never going to be useful here. Let's go ahead and exile 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. We can attack with both. Do I want to pitch the Prismatic Ending to do extra damage? I think I kind of do. Because we get to draw a card here. We can draw another card and then flip Tamiyo. Another Prismatic Ending. I mean, this is good for killing constructs, which this game may be about. Another Daze, so that's another blue card. So we've got Force Blue, Force Blue. Feeling pretty good about that. Yeah. So I'm not sure if they're going to make okay. Wow, they drew a land. That's so good for us. So yeah, they're going to be able to make a pretty decent sized Saga. They should attack. It doesn't do a lot, but it does something. Okay. They have to discard. They have nothing to discard. One of their tendrils is in their yard, where it can no longer be cast. The Murktide is freaking strong. Oh my goodness, what do we do here? I could pitch my entire hand and just make a giant Murktide, giant frog. They might be able to chain off. This Saga is not going to be able to do a lot, but they can create it at instant speed to block. I'm just going to attack like this. See if they want to block. They have no idea how willing I am to pitch cards. They've got a 3/3. Okay. You want to block? You're not going to block? Discard a Daze. Discard a Daze. Because we could hit that construct token if we wanted to. They may go find like a Vexing Bauble so they can at least crack it and draw a card and increase the likelihood of song here. I think it's better to have a giant Murktide and just be ready to kill them next turn. I realize this is super dangerous. I should have actually held the Prismatic Ending. Probably. There is a chance that I draw a blue card off of Force. Or off of Frog here. We're going to have a max size. We draw blue card. Bowmasters. Bowmasters is freaking insane. I think we actually just chill and we Bowmasters here because we can easily kill them when they're Song of Creationing. All right, and that will also be something to chump with the Tamiyo. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty favored here. Okay, they're floating. Now, I don't want them to be able to do anything, so I'm going to go ahead and Bowmasters now. Because if I don't want them to be able to get Vexing Bauble and crack. Boom. Okay, now let's see what they get. I'm very curious what they're going to get here. They did get Vexing Bauble, which gives them an extra draw step. I mean, if they just start chaining things like crazy, there's not a lot I can do here. That gets countered. We ping them twice. If they crack the Bauble, they put Force of Will back in play. Now, it's worth noting that they might be able to find like a... what's it called in time? There it is, Veil. I can't do anything about the Veil. So these will target my own guy. And then those, unfortunately, are not going to trigger. Yeah, all their permanents have protection. So those have already targeted, so they're going to burn off. Yeah, and their spells can't be countered. Okay, yeah, they've got a lot going on here. Got a lot of mana. I think we do just keep pinging this, and then if they do swing in with the construct, if it's not lethal, we could just let it through. I do like having multiple lethal attacking things on the table. Ritual, that's more cards. More triggers. They have 5 storm count. Saga. They can play 1 more land. They get 2 lands a turn. Talisman. I think this probably means we're dead. Because now they can go get tendrils. Yeah, so we fought really hard, but weren't able to stop them. I'm amazed that they were able to get this going. Yeah. Surely they can just activate this. Another Veil. Okay, that's more storm. It'd be nice if we had something else we could target, but we can't target anything. I think it's a foregone conclusion that we've lost. Just waiting to see if they crack their Bauble. Which I can't think of a world in which they do. That doesn't get countered. They draw cards. Boom. I am going to be maybe running out of time next game if we play this out, but I'm pretty sure they have a deterministic line. They would have to have all lands in hand, basically. I am not going to play anymore. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, they can hard cast it, and they're going to draw a ton of cards. Okay, let's go to game 3. So I feel like the Urza Saga plan is quite strong. It was kind of scary. It did get them Vexing Bauble. I don't know what changes we make here. I feel like Murktide, you saw how bad Murktide was. Like we drew it and it was like the last thing we wanted to cast, basically. Now we did see 1 red card, but I think they only play 1 red card, so I don't think Hydroblast comes in. That 1 red card being Song of Creation itself. Consign may be good enough to bring in. I'm trying to think of what we would cut up, though. Consign would have stopped, Vexing Bauble. It can of course counter 0 drops and stuff, but you don't want to be paying 1 mana to counter those. I think we go without, and we just trust that being on the play, we're going to have more game. Especially if we can find a Thoughtseize opener or a Wasteland in our opener. Because they really don't have very many mana, and I don't think it'll be too hard to mana screw them, even with all their artifact mana. 7 minutes I'm going to play judiciously. This is actually not that bad of a hand. I'm going to keep it on the strength of Daze. Obviously, we need to find more than that, but until they ban Vexing Bauble, we are going to be dealing with the fact that Force of Will just isn't good enough on its own anymore. We get a Tundra. I'll ponder. Just keep momentum. Thoughtseize is phenomenal. We don't need this Delta. So I'm going to take the Force now, which pairs with the Ponder, and then we have the Daze. I won't be afraid to pick up cards with Daze if they drop like a Bauble. I'll probably stop that. I can veil end the Bauble. I actually hope that they play a Bauble out. They may just be really cagey with playing out their 0 drops since I've had Prismatic Ending both games. Duress. Yeah, I mean, we have Thoughtseize. I think it's fine to just let this resolve. We could Daze it and keep our secrets. We're about to Thoughtseize whatever the best card is from their hand, though. Now they also know that they can't... Maybe that was a Daze. Yeah, they took the Force. Okay. So we'll Thoughtseize for sure. And based on that, we can decide whether we want to Ponder as well. Veil is a high priority. Take here. Beseech is a way to win. Yeah, I think we probably take Wishclaw. They're the farthest away from using it. They would need 2 turns from now. They could use it. They could sacrifice the Saga. I think Wishclaw represents like the easiest way for them to win from here. So I'll take that. And then I do think I'm going to go ahead and Ponder. And you might be thinking, well, shouldn't you hold blue cards for Force? Maybe. Bowmasters answers Echo. Just in case they do something like they are able to play around my Daze, I don't mind taking Force now. I'm definitely going to be casting Bowmasters next turn. But I will take the Force now. All right, let's pass. Their hand, again, is actually quite a few lands, considering how land light their deck is. And one of the reasons I took the Wishclaw is because they can immediately activate it. They have an Elvish Spirit Guide. All right. So I'm going to play out this Wasteland for sure. Then I think we just chill and hope to surprise them with the Orcish Bowmasters. They can't play out the Saga. If they play out the Saga, I'll hit it with the trigger on the stack. Right? Yep. Glad that I was able to stop that. End step, Bowmasters is coming in to just turn on the clock, put them on notice that they're not going to be able to Echoes. We got Brainstorm on top. And I think we're drawing a land after that. Yeah, I'll just chill. Would love for them to overcommit to something here. This is fine. I'm actually not going to stop this because we have the Bowmasters out. They already have an Echoes in hand. Dark Rit. I mean, if they want to fight over this, they can fight over it. They're going to go get their blue source here. Where do they get the green? 2 Elvish Spirit Guides? That's unfortunate. Okay, let's think about this. What are the odds that they actually have the card in hand? I think I am going to pitch an Echoes just because there's like a very small chance that Daze does nothing here, I think. Well, no, they already know about Daze. They don't know about Brainstorm. I'm going to do it like that. Okay, that worked. All right, and they're passing, burned off a ton of mana. All right. I am just going to apply more pressure, even more pressure. We have nothing up. We are like totally vulnerable here, but we are doing a lot of damage, and they are a deck that needs to mind the damage. They could still have Veil. They could still somehow get to Beseech. They do have, if they have LED, they can discard. That's fine. I've got 4 minutes on the clock, by the way. I'm like so zoomed, like so focused on what they're doing and what they're capable of doing that I just keep stopping to eat. Like I don't even look over at the clock. But I'm thinking extremely hard in this matchup. You had to mongoose them. It was a dark ritual that they put into the graveyard. 3 turns from death. Every turn we attack, we shut off some of their outs. Tamiyo is too late to the party to be useful. She's much better as a potential card to pitch to Force than even a flip Planeswalker. Is that true? Because she can buy back a Thoughtseize next turn. I think I'm going to keep her as is. If they find Beseech mana, which they do, now we have to worry about them potentially beseeching. I'm not sure what they beseech for. Maybe like an LED so they can echo. All I know is if they attempt to beseech, I'm going to brainstorm. Urza's Saga is not too late to save them. They can put out a construct next turn and take out one of our attackers. Then we can keep attacking. I'm not sure. It might be too late to save them. they may have to go Beseech here. If they Beseech and their hand is Echo Eons, Beseech, like there's basically no risk in brainstorming and attempting to hit either Force number 3 or Daze number 2. It's unlikely in 44 cards. They can't really Echo. Like they would have to have the Veil and they'd have to win that same turn. All right, they're passing, which is great for us. They're going to go down to 4 here. That's an amazing pickup. Next turn, they can save themselves from death. It is enough to make me think maybe I should play Tamiyo just so I have something else going on. I'm going to hold. Call me freaking crazy. Maybe it is totally incorrect to do it this way. They are going to be able to get Vexing Bauble, but it'll be a turn too late. We'll already have lethal on the board. Okay, I do think that I'm going to brainstorm end step here. I mean, it seems really weak, but I need the mana to be able to hardcast Daze. If they get Vexing Bauble. Oh, these are so good. Such good cards. Okay. I think Tamiyo goes back. Frog goes back. I can just waste here, and then I think it's deterministic. They have to make it, and then I can just end it, and then attack for lethal. Okay, good game. Yeah, and they didn't even know. Oh no, wait, they may have known about the PE from earlier. Yeah, that was intense. It's always fun. It's always fun when you're playing against like what I would call a fair combo deck, as opposed to an unfair combo deck that just like turn ones. Like Carnforge is kind of an unfair combo deck. All right, see you in round 2. We're 1-0. Round 2, we're on the play against a likely combo or control player. Somebody who said, in all caps, I like your content. Let's take a look at this hand. This is pretty good anti-control tech. I don't love the fact that it has so many lands, but like, what's not to love about Double Brainstorm? I think we keep this and we just hold up a Surveil land. Mulligan to 6. 5. Okay. I think they're just having bad luck here. If they're a control deck and they're having a mulligan to 5, that's unfortunate. They play Amulet Titan in Modern. All right. Yeah, I think we just plan to Surveil here. Polluted Delta is definitely the most widely played fetch land, so it gives away very little about what we're likely on. However, if they're a fan of the channel, they may know that I've just been exclusively playing this Esper control deck. All right, Ancient Tomb. This gives me the vibe of potential Blood Moon, especially with combined with the Mole. Like Moon Stompy is a deck that mulligans extremely aggressively. I think what I'm going to do here is I am going to grab the Archive. I'm going to grab the Undercity Sewers, and then I can just grab an island, just in case, as a precaution. Now I don't know that I want to. I think I'm going to keep that. I mean, they could be on Painter, they could be on a lot of things. But like almost every Ancient Tomb deck does use creatures in some capacity, and unless they're just straight up Mystic Forge. So if we get Island, we still don't really have any outs to win the game. We don't have any cards that just straight up win with just Island. It's our only basic. If we get mooned, so there's not really any benefit. I'm gonna wait and see what they do, and then I'm gonna go for the Wasteland next turn. I mean, you could definitely argue they're so low on resources that we should have wasted there. Maybe that was correct to waste there. I wanted to get on board first and make sure they're actually mana screwed. We could very much, like if they do Blood Moon, then we're all in on Frog though. But at least we have a threat on board. Okay, Cavern. So this tells me, okay, Eldrazi. There it is. Now, thankfully, they don't currently have enough to Cosmos Command and remove our creature. Ooh, Fleshraker. Okay, well, I'm going to be plowing that for sure. I'm going to plow, and then I'm going to... Okay. Yeah, I'm going to definitely plow and waste next turn. They do have the spawns, though. Do they have anything else they want to do? Okay, good. Because you definitely want to plow quickly before they're able to deploy a lot of stuff. Okay, we drew the Tundra. So we could just hold this for later. We're going to have to discard a card if we want to plow and fly. We could just... Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Oh, we need the white. We're not going to be able to waste this turn. Yeah, that's disappointing. I think I'm going to brainstorm. Just see what I find. And then I have... I can put this back and then I can fetch it. Daze is not particularly strong when they already have Cavern out, but it can stop a full greed K command. I think it's worth considering. I don't need a second Psychic Frog, most likely. Psychic Frog is an insane card. I'm just going to go like that. I'm going to go ahead and plow here. If you hear my daughter playing in the background, she is practicing her piano. Okay, do we want to fly just to connect? Or do we want to just kill this spawn and reduce their mana a little bit? Especially when we have Daze, I think that's not a horrifically bad play. Also, there is always a chance that we rip like a Murktide, and that is just incredible. They are blocking. Okay, this is not the worst. So really, Daze is only good specifically again, and I will waste the Cavern if I get the window instead of the Tomb, because at least they're doing damage to themselves with Tomb. Real question is, do we want to ponder now? We don't have anything to do. I think it's fine to go ahead and ponder and just get more cards in the graveyard and try to find a Murktide. Murktide is going to close this game really quickly. I don't think we need these cards. I mean, Tamiyo is a combo. We could regrow the... Yeah, we do have the combo. Okay, I'll keep them. All right. I hope that didn't come across as too indecisive. Sowing Mycospawn with the kicker. Not the kicker. We can't do anything about this because it's uncounterable. And I wouldn't counter the body anyway. So if they go get a Wasteland, I'm just going to waste them right back. They didn't play a land here. Okay, Maze of Ith. Interesting. Well, is Maze of Ith worth wasting? I think it is, probably. Oh, they have a Wasteland from hand. Okay. All right. I see how it is. We're in trouble. So we can Wasteland and we could just hide. Let's see, Tamiyo. So we could flip Tamiyo plus her and then just hit the Ancient Tomb and chill, or maybe hit the Cavern. I think the Ancient Tomb is probably more impactful. Okay. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then I do have cards I can discard if they attack with Sowing Mycospawn. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. And then when we draw our entire deck, which we're most definitely going to do, at that point, we can just play a Wasteland and get rid of the Maze of Ith then. Okay, this is good. So I'm going to need to discard some cards. I think the card that I'll discard is the backup Tamiyo. And I definitely, maybe the Ponder. So one thing I could consider doing is just putting the Plow on top, and I might not need it. I can certainly, yeah, I may not need the Plow. So yeah, actually, like I will probably discard 2 cards so I can kill the Mycospawn if they attack. Probably discard Tamiyo and Ponder and just keep Daze up. Because one of the ways I lose is them Kozilek commanding my Frog. There's a waste, but they only have 2 mana. Okay, they have something for 2 mana. It that heralds the end. This can't be countered. Now their Mycospawn is bigger. This does give me like, I need to plow this vibes. MTGO is spinning. Actually, I may go Hellbent. No, it doesn't make sense to go Hellbent because I can't attack back in. They didn't attack in. I think that's probably a mistake. I'm going to plus. I am going to play this out. I think... So we do know that we have a Plow on top, which could hit the It That Heralds the End. I don't think that's a bad plan. Wasteland. And another Psychic Frog. These are great cards. I don't want to shuffle these away. I already played out the Flooded Strand. I did everything in the wrong sequence. Don't play like me. Play smart. Okay, I think we just chill. Because if they attack with this, like that's an easy chump, and then we could let the 3 through and just kill this. Oh, what do we want to do? I think we probably take the Second Frog is the least important. And then I'll take the Wasteland can't actually be removed. Yeah, and I do want the Wasteland for sure. So I'm going to take this, and then if they have Thoughtseize, it's not a big deal. And we have plenty of cards to discard. Yeah, they're going to have to face this pretty soon. I don't think there's a single card in their deck that can get rid of that. Even if they attack with it, okay, they just concede. Okay. That felt pretty good. So we cramped their mana. They didn't even know that we had the Wasteland coming. I was very indecisive, and I apologize for that bad ponder. So what I should have done is I should have pondered, and then I should have, decided what land to play, and then I should have decided whether to up Tamiyo. That was just bad, my heuristics running awry instead of slowing down and playing correctly. Okay, so in this matchup, consigns come in 4x. I think that's really the only main change we make. Our basics aren't safe anyway. They could be playing Chalice. Chalice does hit a lot of cards in our deck. So the cards are coming out. Thoughtreize. I think Daze comes out. Maybe we could take 2 Dazes out. 3 Dazes out. And Bowmasters is not great. If we bring in the planes, it's just an extra land. I don't like that. I'm going to bring in a Prismatic Ending. I guess I'll bring in both Prismatic Endings. I mean, they're playing It That Heralds the End. They're probably playing Chalice. Yeah, we're barely black. I mean, I am really tempted to just bring the planes in. I'm not going to bring the planes in. I need my blue sources. This is a strong opening hand, buoyed by the presence of Murktide, which... if we do a lot of quick 1-for-1 exchanges, Murktide can come down. Murktide's very hard for them to remove. They're already mulliganing. I'm going to keep this. I don't like the fact that it's a 1-lander, but what I'm likely to do is just not do anything. Turn 1 and Flooded Strand, and then Surveil to try to find a second land. And I will be getting the Meticulous Archive when I Surveil. Cavern. That does shut off some of our plays. However, it is a 1-mana card. So next turn... they could most definitely... please be a land. Okay, another Tamiyo. That's not the worst. Yeah, I think we could play Tamiyo out, but I don't think it's super strong. It was strong last game because we had lots of ways of defending her. If they play a Wasteland out, then we'll just get an island. There's the Eye of Ugin. This can't produce colorless. They can only produce colorless with it, which means we can force a threat, like if they play a Fleshraker or something. There's the Fleshraker, and it can be forced, and it will be forced. I have a profound amount of respect for this card. I'm just going to pitch this. Right. And now, Surveil Land, Meticulous Archive. Let's see if we can spot another land on top. I think we put this in the graveyard. This is like playing... yeah. I mean, it's nice to have, for sure, but they've already got the cavern out. All right. Rewarded with a Ponder, which I'm going to use immediately. These are good cards. We could get just completely obliterated here. I'm going to put the Tundra in hand. Consign on the bottom because I think most likely we're going to have to plow something next turn. Consign just... Consign's always better when you have 2 mana up. Okay, so we're actually... if we plow next turn, we can actually... Oh, we could actually deploy that this turn? Wow, that's great. I didn't realize we could do that. I need something in my graveyard. There's nothing to target with Prismatic Ending, sadly. I think I am going to play out of Tamiyo, just as a distraction. Maybe they K-command it instead of something relevant that comes out later. Maybe they interpret this as like tempo and they spend any resources getting rid of her that are not spent hitting my mana base, I'll be very happy about. For some reason, I didn't realize I had a land drop. So it doesn't make any difference. Like I'm glad I played that land out. If there's a way that they can kill this somehow without exiling it, that'd be great because then it's in my graveyard and I can play the Murktide out. They have a lot of mana. If they have Thoughtseize, my Murktide is almost certainly going to leave. Exit stage left. Slip out the back. I think yeah, there we go. That's what we wanted. And they're going to scry. That's totally fine. I regret that I don't have anything that I can do with the Murktide as far as deploying them next turn. We're basically just chilling. But like, that's a very good trade for me. They put both on bottom, which is a good sign. So they did dodge 2 bad cards, but they don't necessarily have good cards on top. All right, here we go. We're going to chill. Yeah, I feel very vulnerable to Wasteland, to a lot of things. Sowing Mycospawn, probably the scariest thing they could do right now. That would probably end the game. You can hear my kids being bratty in the background. There's the green. Are we having fun yet? Boy, oh boy. That is the end. I'm going to play it out. We have plenty of time on the clock. But I am going to... And this is oh man, I sequenced wrong. Yeah, because I was so confident that I was going to have... I was so confident that I was going to have... I mean, hex... whatever. Had I sequenced correctly, I would be casting Consign a Memory here. Okay. There's no reason not to Wasteland me. I'm drawing dead. They're passing priority. I'm just going to plow this. Wow, they're not wasting me? They should waste me. They may do it during upkeep or something. There's no reason not to waste me here. Yeah. There's no reason to float. I'm not going to pretend. So I'm like essentially extremely dead. I'm just going to chill. Because Murktide is a win con if they don't present something that kills me. Their deck is half mana, half cards that kill me. Yeah, I mean, that was a total punt. Consign would have stopped that completely if I had sequenced my punter differently. Just goes to show you how important every little decision is in Legacy. Like, the stacking of a ponder wrong cost me this game. I'm pretty sure I would have been able to win. I'm going to concede. All right. So, yeah. That might have been our one chance to beat them because it is very tough to beat Eldrazi. It's a hard deck to stop. Did we learn anything about their deck? I think maybe we cut some prismatic endings. It felt like we were drawing too many of those and bring in a Daze. I mean, like, Bowmasters is pretty bad against them. Maybe we do want to bring in a Plains. Oh, wait, we're on the play, so Thoughtseize is good again. Yeah. So maybe instead of bringing in this Plains, we just take out one of these. Maybe we take out both of these. I mean, like, really, it doesn't do a lot. We're not going to be finishing them off with these. What we're going to be finishing them off with is Murktide and maybe Psychic Frog, although Psychic Frog is pretty brittle. Yeah, because the only way they have to draw cards is Kozilek's Command. And, like, I don't even think they play Bauble anymore. Yeah, I'm going to run it like this. 3 Dazes. Like, even with all their cards in their deck, like, if they're not playing Vexing Bauble, Daze is a little bit liver. And there, obviously, that there was that window where if we could have, instead of forcing, we could have Dazed. Where they did have the Caverns out, but they didn't have the right combination. This is a great start. I'm going to keep this for sure. I'm just going to go get Underground Sea, Thoughtseize them. Then from the subsequent turns, I'll have Consign up. I'm going to fetch until my graveyard is full, and then I'm going to Murktide, and I'm going to hope to kill them in like maybe 3 swings. They're mulliganing, which is great. If they mulligan even lower, like, I'll feel even better. Their deck is so mana hungry that they have to keep a lot of lands. Okay, I need to clear my head and not get tilted about that misstacking of that ponder. Okay, so Their hand is not that explosive. Thought Knot comes down first. K command can be used to generate mana to ramp a little bit. It's not good in that capacity. Like, I do think we probably take Thought Knots here. It is an ETB trigger as opposed to cast trigger. We just have to ensure that our Murktide is big enough that it doesn't die to Dismember. I think we can probably do that. I also think that it's likely that they cast their Dismember on our Tamiyo, which is what we want them to do. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe they are disciplined and they hold it. So I think next turn we're Tamiyoing and we're just holding up Consign. They didn't want to get wasted, so they played their waste. It's already wasted. Psychic Frog. Oh my goodness. I think we put Tamiyo out as bait. Oh, if we put Tamiyo out as bait, they can kill it. Psychic Frog, they had to pay a bunch of life. We can technically survive. Okay, let's say we play out Psychic Frog. We have 5 cards in hand. No, we'd have 4 cards in hand. They could dismember, just instep, and then we can't discard everything because then we don't have the Murktide. Murktide's how we actually plan to win. I don't want to discard this. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to play this out, and I'm going to Tamiyo, and I'm going to hope that they waste resources trying to kill Tamiyo, whom I don't actually care about. Sorry, Tamiyo. I'm just not that into you. Okay, not right now. All right, now they've got their K command mana. Chalice for 1. We don't actually care about this because we can, consign. I don't think we stop this. Okay, and now I'm just going to Surveil and try to dodge 1-drops off the top of my deck. Like, really, I'll peel anything into my yard. Ends Chalice and also gets us closer to... Yeah, I think this is a top. I'm going to play a little slower because they're playing slow. So we're creating our clue. We're going to have a big Murktide next turn. Okay, their hand is currently 2 K commands and a Dismember and an Unknown. With the amount of playing I've been doing around Dismember, I do wonder if maybe it was correct to just take the Dismember. Hopefully they just go for it. They do have a Cradle, which doesn't tap for mana. I will counter a K command here. My reasoning is that it'll generate... Okay, so they're not going to give me the window to do it. It's fine. Maybe they're going to do it in upkeep. I would be very proud of them if they did. Okay. Now we have enough mana to do basically everything we want to do. So I'm going to start by attacking here. Unfortunately, I cannot flip her... Oh, instep, if they do something, then I can flip. But I won't be able to plus her. Currently, Murktide is not big enough. I could play a Psychic Frog here. And I still have Consign up. And if they butcher our poor boy, then at least Murktide's not going to die. I think that's correct. Okay, and we have Surveil up if we need it. Can't believe they didn't use their mana for anything. That's either incredibly disciplined or incredibly foolhardy. I'm not sure which. Okay, so now they have the maze. So we have the option of cracking a clue or just getting a Surveil. I think we can crack these clues later. I do want to get a Surveil now. I'm looking for Wastelands. Wasteland on Eldrazi Temple would be extremely strong because they'd have 1 mana. That's precisely what I want. Thank you. Question is, do we want to waste the maze? I think I do want to waste the temple. This sets them back quite a bit. Now if they K command my Tamiyo, I'll probably actually have to consign it, which sucks. I probably should have attacked with... No, I can just flip it. I can flip her. They K command here. They will be able to create 1 token. They're scrying instead. Right, so I'm just going to... Yeah, I missed out on a draw by doing it this way, unfortunately. Kind of dumb. And fortunately, they don't even have the mana. Yeah, that was really dumb to do it that way. But we did flip her. She does live to Read books another day. That does fizzle part of it, but I think they still get to surveil. Okay, they bottomed it. All right. They're pretty Stone Age here. Just going to plus and pass. We are actually pretty vulnerable here if they have a way to like put a creature into play. But the way they bottomed makes me think that, okay, they do have mana. So we're definitely going to be plowing next turn. I just hope that, yeah, I really wish I had that extra clue. I'll try not to get bent out of shape over like suboptimal plays. But this match is not my proudest, but we are ahead. All right. Is there a reason to play out a Strand? I don't think so. Is there a reason to buy anything back? I don't really think so. I think we might be able to find another Wasteland. I'm going to try for that. Consign is great. Ponder's fine. I think we maybe just hide behind a wall of consigns until Tamiyo ultimates. I think that's a legit approach. Also, yeah, we can put out a Murktide now and like essentially double the threats. I don't mind doing that. So I'm going to go blue, blue, Murk. We're just going to exile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue, blue. We could have done like slightly smaller and then baited and then used Psychic Frog to make it stronger if they dismembered. That would have been fun and cute, but I'm not doing that right now. I just didn't think about it until afterward, but that would have probably been a better play. Okay. So there's no reason to attack. I'm not going to make them do the Maze of Ith Song and Dance. If they K-Command again to try to exile my frog, I'll just consign it. I don't want them creating spawns. And yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and consign this. Yeah, because spawns give them double mana basically because of Cradle. Okay, they conceded. Yeah, I feel like we had that pretty locked up. I just am embarrassed that I didn't play it more optimally. I think probably that wasn't a good keep on their part. Frankly, if they opened with that few, I mean, they had a single creature that they showed the entire time, right? Yeah. All right, we're 2-0 going into round 3. Round 3. Imagine you are soccer star or football star Ronaldo, and somebody thinks it's funny to just add an O to the end of your name and make your name Ronaldo. How would you feel about that? This seems like a good hand. We're in the blind. This has removal. This has disruption. I'm going to keep it. I see a path to a big Murktide, and that's what I like to see. Most of our games, we close them out with Murktide. So being able to fill our yard while interacting with the opponent and then just slamming a big, hard to deal with Murktide, it's my cup of tea. My cup of Ronaldo. Strand opening. All right, this could be a tempo deck. Option. I do think we open Thoughtseize, though. I think it'd be a mistake not to. Are they going to stifle? No. Okay. Are they going to Daze? They're on 5 already. Let's put them on 4. Okay. This is probably Daze. This might be an emergency brainstorm. Oh, Plains. Oh, okay. Lauren revealed. Okay, so they're on Beanstalk probably. Beanstalk is a deck that would play both of these cards. Oh, wow. Wow. Is our hand dead against them? Yeah, I mean, like, gosh, these are some pretty brutal cards. I don't want to play against a fairy. I don't really want to play against Narset, but we can Planeswalker before they get to that point, but we do have Force to contend with. Let's say we take the Force, then we definitely Tamiyo flip. The problem is they almost certainly have Prismatic Ending in their deck. So even if we can dodge, I think taking Force, though, is a mistake in this matchup. And I'll tell you why. We would love for them to go down a card, especially on the mole. So I think Teferi's the take. Yeah, Teferi's the take. And Narset is fine. We'll just let Narset see if she can dig for removal for Murktide. My hope is that they get antsy and that they Well, let's see. What land do they have? They have double island. Wait, they just have one island. Okay. So now those are all their lands. And their hand is Brainstorm, Force, Narset, one unknown. Okay, now it's Narset, Force, one unknown. Hopefully. I mean, it could be anything now. But they're brainstorming without the ability to immediately shuffle unless they find another Lorien revealed. So when you see Lorien revealed and you're a Temple player, you think, gotta go fast. You're like Sonicking. You're putting on your red shoes, your oversized red shoes, and you are trying to hustle. Now, everything we've shown them is scary combo. So it's quite possible that they don't realize that we're actually a tempo deck. Sadly, I'm not going to be able to surveil here because I don't want to put my guard down on this Brainstorm if they do have a plow. Whoa, Scoob. Are you ready to force this? Are you ready to force this? I'm going to show my true colors. Phil Collins style. They should force this probably. It's just too much value. Yeah, there's the force. What do they pitch? They pitch a Brainstorm. They still have a Narset. They will be able to get one trigger off Narset, but then I'm going to end it. Well, no, not necessarily, because I don't necessarily have the mana. Oh, this is fine. Totally. By all means. I have zero fear of Triumph. But this tells me they're probably on Beanstalk. So the winner of Eternal Weekend last year in 2023 was a Beanstalk list that was playing Triumph. Okay, so their hand is Narset, I suspect. What do we do? I think I do want to get a land here. I am going to go ahead and get a land. Hopefully, our deck will give us a land. It does. It gives us a Daze too, which is great. I think that's really good against Narset. So what I'm going to do is... Bowmasters is an insane card in this match. Murktide is not the greatest, considering they have Plow. And also, when are we going to cast that? I think we're going to cast Plow now, because we don't want them to be able to successfully dig for an answer or draw some sort of interaction spell. Yeah, we're going to eventually draw through all these, but I think Murktide is going to be a little bit later. I want to get Psychic Frog out first, because Psychic Frog can draw us cards. So I will go ahead and Plow now, and I can't think of anything they could do to stop it. I'm going to try to play quickly because I anticipate this being a long match, and because MTGO is choosing now to do the spinner thing. Okay, it's gone. Great. Clean answer. They have some life. Life does not matter. I really wish I could have Bowmastered that, but I'd already tapped my black to be able to ponder. So that was never in the cards. And it was a Brainstorm, not a ponder. All right. What's it going to be? Do you have a land drop? You are making this very easy on me by not having a land drop here. So, as much as I would like to stick to Bowmasters, I do think that it's higher EV to stick a Psychic Frog here. And if they plow that, they plow that. We'll eventually work through their plows. If they instep plow, that's great for us. If they Prismatic End here, that's fine. So they have not shuffled. So Narset is still in the mix somewhere. Okay, wow. That's like pretty much the worst land they could have found. So we are going to get to connect, I think. There's Murktide. I think I'm just going to go turbo and hit with Frog, and then I'm going to deploy the Murktide. That's a great card to pick up. They're not going to be able to kill both of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of them is going to be a higher priority kill than the other. And I think that's going to be Murktide, even though Frog is what's actually going to break the game open for me. Ponder is fine. They're going to need double removal here. Prismatic Ending on Frog will not do because of my Daze, unless they also have a land. I mean, forcing did take them down, and then mulliganing. They're in an unenviable position here. Okay, they do have mana now, so they could, in theory, like if they played Narset, she's doomed. I don't think that's the right play. I'm just trying to think of what they could do here. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just attack. You definitely could argue that I should have pondered first to maybe find a plow. They are just taking it. All right. We're drawing. I think at this point, we do have to worry a little bit about sweepers. I'm going to try to find a force. Thoughtseize is actually totally fine. I don't need a second ending. I don't want this archive at all, but I'll probably have to draw it. I think it's more important that we Thoughtseize now than that we do anything else. Sorry, Bowmaster. I know you've been like just chilling there, waiting for your opportunity to shine. They very much could have set up a terminus. Fourth would be reckless, frankly. I'm not worried at all about fourth. Like with Bowmasters and with us hitting for so much. I'm more worried about Narset helping them dig to an answer. So I think we take that. And if they fourth, there's also a chance that I might be able to just Daze it. So the top cards are unknown. It could be a terminus. Ending is okay. Yep. I think we just hold here. We have a prismatic ending we don't want. I can just go ahead and get through it real quick. Again, I do need to kind of play fast. I'm just going to go ahead and attack for a non-lethal. And I'm going to hold up both Tamiyo and Orcish Bowmasters as potential things I can do next turn. Yeah, they don't have a red source for the fourth because of the way they fetched. I'm not sure why they didn't fetch red. I think we can basically get them so close to dead here that it's worth doing this. We know that all they have is fourth in hand. Yeah, they just concede. I mean, like, I think that was premature because they could like find double plow and just, clear those and then eventually claw back into it. But I don't know. Maybe they got to look at the cards before they conceded. Okay, so Plains is going to come in and we're going to take out one of our Tundras. I don't anticipate them accosting our mana at all. So we could also take out one of our Underground Seas maybe. You saw how few non-basics they have. Maybe it's correct to just take out a non-basic. Prismatic Ending is pretty terrible. Hydroblast is great. And Orcish Bowmasters is great. So, Grafdigger's Cage doesn't affect Miracle, unfortunately. Consign's pretty bad against them. I doubt they did show us. So we do want to maybe cut a couple of these, but we can't cut them all. And then Daze is pretty terrible. Actually, I think Daze is even worse than Plow. I suspect they probably have maybe Murktide. Maybe they don't have any Murktide and it's just the Triumph. But we do want to have a way to remove Triumph. I feel like this is pretty good. We've got every single threat that's possible in our deck right now. All 16 creatures. We're very creature light. Wasteland. You got to hope that they do fetch some non-basics. I don't know. Going as low as we are, I think it's fine to just take out a Wasteland. Because there aren't that many Wasteland targets in their deck. And I want to have plenty of blue sources. All right. So we've got 2 Dazes in. We could, in theory, go down lower on Dazes and bring in Prismatic Ending. Against Jeskai, they don't usually play any permanents that you can hit with Prismatic Ending other than their 3-mana Planeswalkers. This is a mulligan. This is a snap keep. This is really good. I don't want to throw away the land. I think I do, though. Yeah, I think with the Brainstorm, I think I throw away the land. We're most likely to draw a land. And it's an ETB tap land, which is really pretty unfortunate. There's a Tamiyo. I think we just let her be, sadly. Yeah, I didn't really think about her, but she is hit. We can hit her with Prismatic Ending either side of her. So that is definitely a reason to bring in. I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. And then we'll see what they have. Okay, so they have more creatures than I thought. I'm going to take the land. I'll just Daze the Brainstorm. Yeah, we're taking the land. Now they have Brainstorm, and that's going to get dazed. We have 2 reasons to daze it, unless they draw their own land. If they draw land, then that sucks. Okay, so we're just going to let them do this. That's fine. They're crazy if they're not going to brainstorm this turn because they do want to hit land. Okay, they did hit land. Damn. All right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to chill. Hydroblast is a great pickup for later. I do want to Bowmasters when they brainstorm. Yeah, they just kept hitting lands. Wow. That's really dangerous. Okay, we'll let them create the clue. I mean, they may smell the Bowmasters. Oh, what do we do here? Our hand is great. I don't want to get rid of anything. I'm just sad because these clues are like permanent bonuses to them. And the second we get off Bowmaster's mana, they can just brainstorm and transform her. They're less inclined to do that during the end step, though, when they can't protect her. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to surveil here. Get the blue-white land. Let's see if they brainstorm. They don't. Okay. That's great. Yeah, I'm going to keep that. I would love to have a land, but I'll take it. Now I'm going to pass again. Yeah, I think we just need to, like, they can be super patient with this, and they're smart to be patient. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have taken that plow. Maybe they get impatient and they crack it. They have a Narset in hand. Oh, well, unfortunately, nothing we can do about this. If we... Yeah, I think this will force them to play out their brainstorm, which is fine. I'm going to do it. We have Force, which can protect if they have a plow. That's fine. So they are going to attempt a brainstorm here. I think we probably want to go ahead and force the brainstorm. That will at least prevent her from transforming. Oh, wow. They're going to let us have it? Sure. I will definitely force a plow on Bowmasters. I think Bowmasters is like the only thing we've got going on this game. Like our hand is fine and everything. They can draw this and they can still flip her. And that's still bad for us. But keep in mind, we do have Prismatic Ending in our deck. We just have to go find it. And we don't have as many Prismatic Endings as I wish we had. What I'm going to do next game is I'm going to bring in all 4 Prismatic Endings. And yes, I could have targeted with these, but I don't want my mine to fizzle. Wow, they're just letting me freaking... That's crazy to me. That's totally crazy. I am going to go ahead and attack here. They have Snapcaster Mage. I can Daze it. 3 damage. I'm going to go ahead and try to find a land. I am going to force this. Bowmasters is too good here. I'm going to pitch Hydroblast. I know they have the 4th in hand. Okay. We get our plow, or our ponder. They have Snapcaster. Yeah, I want the Delta. I don't really want to be forcing cards. So I'm going to take the Delta. And yeah, assuming they found another land, we are definitely going to get Snap Plowed next turn. They found the land. No. Oh my goodness. We do have a force on top. I'm going to go get it, and I'm just going to force this. I hate to do this, but like I think it's correct. The Snapcaster will just be too big of a problem for us. Okay, we're putting this back for sure. And yeah, I think Psychic Frog can be a good backup threat. And I think, the plow is just not as important. I mean, they definitely could go get like a mountain and blast this, and then the game's probably just over. But I do not want my Orc Army to leave the table. Are they going to hold back? That is pretty good for us. I'm going to go get my other Surveil land. Back to Basics is on my radar. It is a bad card that people play, and it could get us. That is not good enough. We're looking for more interaction. I mean, that's interaction. If we plow, I think we plow and we just attack in. Yeah, I'm going to do it. If they want to save her, they can at high price. Okay, they're not. I'm just going to attack here. I mean, we're so screwed if they're if they can find a you know what? They're probably playing. Okay. I am going to play this out. I'm going to just go for it. I think we're unfavored here. It may sound crazy, like how can you be unfavored? But I feel very unfavored because they do have Supreme Verdict. If they find it, we're just dead. If they fourth, that's okay. I can live with a fourth because we're going to be pinging them every turn with Orcish Bowmasters. But if they find Supreme Verdict, the game is just over. And we'll know whether they have Supreme Verdict by whether they fetch a planes. Okay, they have Supreme Verdict. Because there's no... Okay. There's no reason why they wouldn't just wipe our board here. And that is definitely an argument to hold back the frog. Maybe it was greedy for me to do it. There's another red source. They might just fourth here. But again, if they take the initiative or they take the Monarch, we are going to be pinging them every turn. And it is going to make our Orc army quite big. Also, we can fly over and hit them for 2 with Psychic Frog. Is this a Snapcaster Mage? This is them ending that. That is okay. We still have the big Orc body. This is the Narset. We're going to kill Narset and we are going to draw. Let's see if they find Supreme Verdict off of this. Oh, they're not going to do that. Okay, well, I'm just going to attack and discard and kill Narset. I mean, I could just kill her now. I think it's better to discard because then we might draw something relevant. I think they just made a blunder here. I still get to draw when she's dead. But this way I keep my mana up in case I draw something useful. I mean, I could just attack them for 5. Maybe that's what they wanted. They wanted to buy time. All right, maybe that was a mistake because I could have just ended her and got them down to 3. Their life total doesn't really matter. They can win at 1 life. They have lots of cards to draw. Maybe that was totally, the ultimate bait. Clue draw. They can draw again. There's a Brainstorm. Again, Supreme Verdict just wipes me. I may be able to get another connection with Psychic Frog, which would be great, but I'm not counting on it. They probably have Pyroblast. They've got a lot of things they can do here. I'm not confident at all that this Orc army is going to go all the way. They have a Snapcaster. That's bad. They are fetching. If we hit them down to 3, we'd actually... Yeah, if we'd done that play where we just hit them down to 3, then it's possible that Orc army could have won next turn. Snap. Oh, Mentor. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm still going to be attacking you with everything. I'm not worried about Mentor. What do we do here? I think, I'm going to exile some cards. 1, 2, 3. One reason I don't want to use this until after combat is because I don't want to put something on the stack that they can counter. That's like one thing that they could do with their current mana. I am going to discard this card. Deal 3 damage to him. Get him a little lower. I should have done that after blocks. They have to block. If they don't block, they're dead. Okay. That makes me feel a little bit better. I do want to Thoughtseize them. Okay, we draw. That's a banger of a card. Let's go ahead and just see what their last 2 cards are. We take the 4th. And we take Narset, and I think that's GG probably. It reduces their likelihood of being able to draw. Because if they had a mana... See, yeah, they could potentially... I'm just going to ignore 4th. Especially with Bowmasters on the table. And the ability to fly the frog. Clue. I'm just going to poke them now. Put them on notice. They tapped out a white, which was a mistake, because now they can't draw Verdict. I mean, they could draw Verdict. They would need Verdict and a white source. They're 2. Yep, they conceded. We got through there. I do think we made some suboptimal plays. I think it was a mistake to play at the frog when we did. We just got lucky that we dodged verdict. But I also think I seem to recall a situation. I think when I rewatch this, I'm going to notice a few misplays, is what I'm saying. I may have called them out in real time. Just a quick reminder, we're 3-0. We're doing great. We haven't even dropped that many games. Let's take a look. How many games have we dropped? But yeah, we dropped 2 games. So that was our first 2-0. Call me out if you notice me making suboptimal plays in the comments. I will never shoot the messenger. I just want to play tighter. I want to play better. I want to be the very best. All right, see you in round 4. Round 4, we're 3-0. We're on the draw against a likely blue-black player. This feels like a pretty good hand. I don't want to mull if they're on blue-black. I'm going to keep. I like keeping the force just in case they're not on blue-black because, in the blind. Their most recent tournament results that I could find were like 2 months old. They may have switched. Island. I think for momentum's sake, we do Island here. Let me think about this. We have answers to Psychic Frog. I don't really fear anything. What am I looking for if I ponder? I think the answer is I'm not really looking for much. I think I'm going to get a Surveillant going, and this will get the blue-white. This way we do have Force Up, but we also have, we don't have to pitch Murktide in case we need it later. Murktide is really good against blue-black. There's a Psychic Frog, which we can answer with Plow, so I'm just going to let it resolve. All right, now we'll go get the Meticulous Archive. This matchup gets way better on the round 2 post board. This feels fine. This gives us a backup way to find. We can go get a Surveillant, or we can get a second white source with it. Feels good. I think I could play it out, and then just go ahead and I'm gonna Plow now. Don't mess around. I just get rid of it. There is definitely the risk that they are on Reanimator. Oh, okay. So you're on Reanimator, basically. Abhorrent Oculus. I can't think of a reason why you discard that if you weren't on Reanimator. So that's good to know. But that is not a great card to reanimate. Yeah, I don't know. But like we can trust that there's some reanimation shenanigans. Even if they're not straight Reanimator, they are doing something involving reanimation. Like, so some blue-black decks will play Reanimate. It's just like a value card. So I will be forcing that if they attempt to reanimate that. Yep. And let's see. What do we want to do here? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I think we just pitch Ponder because Murktide might, in theory, be able to fight it or race it. It's a 5/5, right? At the same time, Ponder can draw us into a Plow, which is probably more reliable. Yeah, I think I am going to pitch a Murktide here. They have some sort of counterplay. Okay. It's unfortunate they're getting Brainstorm out of their hand now. They could double Daze this. They could force back. I don't think we're going to win if this is in play. Okay, that's good. That's very good. All right, so I'm going to just Surveil. I'll get the other blue-black land. I realize that cuts me off of the out of, if they waste my white source, but I put these in here. I don't want to draw them. I want to get them out of my deck as early as possible. I kind of feel like we need this. No, this is cowardly. Because if they reanimate that, I want to have a Plow. I don't want to be 2-for-1ing myself to stop it. Okay. I think it's fine to go ahead and Ponder here while they can't punish it. Looking for Plows. Daze is not... None of these are good enough. Yeah, I'm just going to shuffle this. All right, we got a Strain anyway. I think I'm going to play it out, and then I have the option of Brainstorming in step. Assuming that they cast something. I don't want to Brainstorm into an open, potential Bowmasters, but I also don't want to cast Bowmasters right now because of Daze. They're fetching. They're probably going to Surveil. They also been to Force of Will. This is a Frog. Animate Dead. Oh my goodness, what do we do here? Oh, we don't have any main deck answers, but we know that they're pretty heavily on reanimation here. What options do we have? I'm so glad, by the way, that we're talking about Oculus and not like freaking Atraxa or something. I realize this is easier for them to cast. It's like a reanimation target that you can actually, yeah. I think I'm going to brainstorm. I need to put these lands back either way. If I find a force, that'll be great, considering I only have one left. Yeah, that's not good enough. We have the option of double Bowmastering them next turn. I don't think the Wasteland is good, ever. I don't think Daze is good either, but I think it's better. Yeah. Yeah, they got it. That sucks. We may be able to find an answer for it. I'm optimistic. I'm just going to go ahead and upkeep. I'll shuffle. I'm going to go get a white source. They are going to get a manifested creature. They're going to do this every turn, so they are getting a 2/2. They can potentially flip if it's like a frog or something. Let's see what we draw. Can we draw something good, like a plow? No, we can't draw something good. Unfortunately, I think my best bet is to somehow like they get greedy and cast a brainstorm or something, and we double Bowmasters, which seems extremely unlikely to work. But I just don't think we have a lot of other things we can do here. So this is just a 4/5 currently. So they're hitting for 6. I mean, we could just ping this twice and then not die to it. But then if they have their own Bowmasters, we're in trouble. I think it's worth it to reduce the amount of life loss. I'm going to ping that, and then they're going to just daze this. But I think we're so far behind, we need a miracle here. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure they have a Daze. We haven't given them any Daze targets this entire game. But they have cast Brainstorm, and they might put it back. No, this is Daze. Yeah, there's the Daze. Nope, we're not going to be paying for it. And we're going to block here and just kill that thing. I think that's better than us keeping this army around. At least that way we're kind of clinging to some hope. If we can find a plow. If we find a plow, we're like totally back in it. But our hand is pretty dead. Now they got another creature. We can actually hit it with Prismatic Ending too. Please, gosh. No, I don't want the game to go like this. Okay, well, it makes more sense to play out the Strand. Yeah, this is just catastrophic. They're actually at the point where they could cast another one. If they do, I'll just daze it, but they might have another land. All right, they come in. We're just going to take it all. We'll go down to 5. I'm not going to put my Bowmaster in harm's way. They're always going to have a blocker, by the way. Next turn, they've got like even more of these. So like it is too late, really, to do anything about this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to concede. This game is over. Disappointing. But as I said, we have lots of tools. And they did put an Atraxa in their yard toward the end. I think we should just presume that they are rescam, but they just happen to be playing, that card. I do think we bring these in. I think we bring in a Plains just as like, bulletproof. Or I'm not sure that we bring in another Bowmaster. I don't know that they play their own. I mean, Prismatic Ending does hit Oculus if it comes back. It is removal. But we didn't see anything other than Frog. And I mean, between Frog and Oculus, maybe it is worth having Prismatic Endings in. So the cards that usually come out in this matchup are Forces. And I mean, some number of Dazes wouldn't be terrible, considering that I think they're unlikely to do anything into our Daze. In fact, we could do... Oh, we need Surgical too. Yeah. And I think we could bring in a Bowmaster and then just go, oops, all threats, and just not have any Daze. Because they definitely saw... Did we show them Daze? Maybe not. I think we do this, and then we just like out-quality them and grind them. Brazen Borrower is good. Oh no, I submitted too many lands. Let me undo it. Don't make me play 21 lands. I was flooded enough last game. It's not going to let me change it. All right, we're at 21 lands. That was bad. That was dumb. Okay, I think this is a keep though. Yeah, I'm going to keep on the basis that Gravedigger's Cage is a heck of a card. Then I've got double Surveil. Prismatic Ending is not nothing if they take the frog plan. Wasteland probably won't matter. The real thing is, okay, does Gravedigger's Cage resolve? If it doesn't resolve, then we're in serious trouble. But I'm definitely not going to mulligan a hand that has Gravedigger's Cage and any other real action in it. We're going to be patient and we're going to try to end around Daze, since they're almost certainly playing Daze here. All the more reason to jam the cage turn 1. 4 Daze is online. It's in. They probably have some number of borrowers, like 2 or 3 maybe. So we're not safe by any means from the reanimation menace, but we're not as cold as we were normally, as we would be. This is a Thoughtseize, which is totally fine. My hand is blank cardboard. I'm going to be wasting you to put you to the test. They did take the ending, which makes me think that they have Frog. Murktide is a great pickup. They probably don't have a way to deal with it. So we could turbo the Brainstorm just to, get around Bowmasters. I think that's fine. I don't like that play, though. I think we just play a little bit more patiently and get a perfect Brainstorm. If we don't like it and we don't want to use the fetch, we can potentially just, put one of those cards back. Also, the later in the game you cast your Brainstorm, the more powerful they become. There's a Psychic Frog. I think next turn is Psychic Frog turn. I do want to get this just out of my hand. I'm not sure if it's better to Brainstorm it away. I think I'm going to do this. Definitely don't want that land. Yeah, and that's where 21 lands come back to bite us. No tempo deck in history has ever played 21 lands, I don't think. Even before Ponder was... Well, I guess there wasn't really tempo before Ponder was printed. Lorwyn. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So we definitely don't want that connecting. We are behind on cards. Just give me a plow. My goodness. Okay, so if we fetch here, we're still not going to be able to play around Daze. I think what we do here is we just play the land. We chill. When they come in, we attempt a Bowmasters. That forces them to do stuff with their graveyard. I don't think playing Bowmaster or playing Frog is correct here. I think it's correct to get a bigger... Actually, if we do play Frog, then we could potentially discard and make a bigger Murktide. I don't hate that. Let me think about this. Playing Bowmasters does kind of slow Frog down and make it awkward, but it doesn't necessarily win the game. Psychic Frog, however, does draw fire. I think I'm going to chill. We'll see what they do. But I'm almost certainly just going to cast Bowmasters when they attack before blocks. That is totally fine. I don't care about that card. I mean, we might get lucky and hit a Daze, but this card is not going to matter once we have Murktide out. It is a 4/4 lifelink. Is it worth dazing if we find a Daze? I think we took all of our Dazes out. I'm going to let this resolve. I do have to fetch, which kind of ruins my whole Brainstorm plans. I don't want to get my Bowmaster, I don't want my Bowmaster to get dazed. So I'm just going to do it like this. I'll block like that. I'm going to attempt a Brainstorm end step, which is ugly and not what I want to do, ideally. But I do want my Murktide to be big enough to at least stop the Metamorphosis Fanatic. These are insane. Okay, so we can now plow and we can Murktide around. This is great. So the card that's going to go on top, I'll just redraw. I'll keep a Psychic Frog on top. I'll draw a Ponder. I don't want my Psychic Frog to get Thoughtseize. And then I'm just going to go ahead and play this out now. Blue, blue. Murk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big enough to tango with your Metamorphosis Fanatic. Then I am going to go ahead and waste here. Putting you at 1 land. You're welcome to attack me. Next turn I'll have a frog, and I'll just start flying that over and connecting. That's fine. Next turn I'll have frog out, so they won't be able to reanimate that. They don't have Daze up. I am still going to play this first. Black, blue, frog. Now I will go ahead and ponder. What am I looking for? Another plow, probably. Grafdigger's Cage number 2 doesn't do anything, especially when they're this low on mana. We could easily just shuffle this, and I think that's fine. Ponder's great. I'm just going to chill because attacking, they will get it back. Let's see. Do we want to do this? We could attack for 7, and then they swing in and we take 4, and they gain 3 back. And then we'd still have a card to pitch next turn. I'm so bad at combat math. I think it is perfectly fine to just chill. Also, in case they're able to bounce this, I want to be able to do stuff with it. They may have another Fatal Push for our frog, in which case I will exile our Orcish Bowmaster. All right. So I think we basically won this. I just want to make sure we did, and we're not screwing something up here. Thoughtseize is pretty good. I'm not averse to drawing that Wasteland, but I'm pretty sure they're going to go for an island. So I think what I'll do is I'll take the Thoughtseize here. I will go ahead and Thoughtseize them just to see what they have. I'll take Douthie. Baragorf could be a problem. I think the biggest, most likely problem is going to be a Psychic Frog, though. Yeah, we can remove all these other cards. Yeah. So I think at this point, I just want to attack with Frog. I'll go ahead and exile that, and I'll keep these other cards for later in case I remerk. Again, Prismatic Ending is really strong against what they're doing over there. I'm going to draw a card. Just build my advantage here. So we are drawing this. We can play this, and then we can decide whether we want the Wasteland or whether we want a second Surveil land. So their hand currently is Reanimate. Okay, and they just conceded. That's great. So this Metamorphosis Fanatic was not consequential, really. I'm glad I let it resolve. Okay, now we have to win on the draw, and they know a lot more about what our deck is capable of. Sideboarding, we're going to remove the redundant land. I don't think we need the island at all. Let's take that out. I mean, there could be a situation where we're desperate, but like they're not a true tempo deck. They're probably just playing like 3 Wastelands. This gives us the opportunity to bring in probably a Force of Will on the draw. I do like having these, especially seeing that they're playing, Douthie and stuff like that. I think extra removal is totally justified. Yeah, I think I'm going to run it like this. They are very much in on Graveyard, so the Grafdigger's Cage was pretty strong there. On the draw, it's not as reliable unless we have a Daze, which we don't have a Daze in our deck. So, they could just island, and then do we Grafdigger's Cage net then? This is a trap hand. I feel like it just doesn't do enough. Gosh, it's got removal for like days and days. We can go get our basic planes, but we don't have a path to a second land. I want to mulligan this. I want some graveyard disruption. This has a force. Double Wasteland, or double, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then what I'll probably do is I'll just, I don't think the Wasteland is going to matter. I think they're going to be careful about how they fetch, knowing that I wasted them out of the game effectively last game. Mulliganing to 4. Excuse me. Sorry if that was really loud. I'm just stunned that they're mulliganing to 4. Having this one force in my deck feels pretty good. I'm definitely going to try to force an Entomb. I think it's unlikely that they... Okay. Let's see what they do here. Delta pass. Very typical opening here. We drew another land. I think we just have to play it super duper slow. Because if they entomb, I do need to be able to force that. That would be like, entomb, reanimate, Daze would be something that we keep here. If they take frog, that's no problem at all. This might be a Thoughtseize. Okay, this might be a frog. Douthie. I'm going to fetch in response. I'm going to get a plains. I don't want them to get the fetch, or I want as many cards in our graveyard as possible. Okay, and I'm just going to attempt to plow now. And if they daze, not a lot I can do about that, but I do want to get this off the table. Okay, great. So Thoughtseizes would be really bad because then they could potentially take our other... Oh, just kidding. We have lots of removal. I think we go ahead and start with the Meticulous... Oh, we might need black next turn. I think it's unlikely. I'd rather have access to white since I have 2 white spells in my hand and no black spells. That is very much staying on top. That will be great next turn. And we just have to clinch, get through this next turn. They're down to 2 cards. If their cards are Entomb and Reanimate, we're still potentially in trouble. That's fine. We established they likely don't have Daze. So I think I can go ahead and ram this this card out. Boom, let's Surveil. We don't need yet another Prismatic Ending. I am going to play this out. I'll force it if they Daze. Okay. Now I will force if they borrow. I do feel very favored now. Frog, no worries. I think we end this just because there are cards that cost more mana than they might have. And I don't think that they have Daze. I'll feel really embarrassed if they do Daze this. But they didn't have it the previous 2 turns. All right, great. So we're just going to chill. Hopefully they don't have a bunch of Wastelands. And we're going to eventually, build out a board of like Bowmasters and stuff like that. It's fine. Oculus can still be cast. So it is kind of a scary card. They are up to 3 mana. I think Oculus is actually a really interesting innovation for this deck. Surgical... I almost kind of think like maybe we Surgical Ponder during their upkeep or something like that, because we do want to reduce the number of Oculi, or the speed with which they can deploy an Oculus. And I don't know that this Surgical is going to get any better. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this on the draw step. Okay, they're fetching. Surveilling. There's an argument for... Oh, they kept. That's even more reason to do it before draw. Huh. So they have double Flooded Strand. If I just want to minimize the number of cards in their graveyard, I think going for Flooded Strand makes sense here. Now we shuffle whatever the card they wanted to keep is. And, okay, so they have a Fatal Push and a Force of Will. They don't have any more Flooded Strand. Let's take a look at their deck. Baragoi, Oculus, those are live threats. Another Douthie. 2 Psychic Frogs. Metamorphosis Fanatic. They do have the Reanimates in. And they have the Trolls that they can cast when they get really high in mana. Okay. So we'll go ahead and grab those. So it's just... Oh, and they have double Borrower. Okay. I think we're good here. With knowledge that they have Fatal Push in hand, makes me not want to Bowmaster. We will need to be ready to... Well, let's see. They had a land for turn. Okay, that's unlucky for them. Do we want to just ping them with Bowmaster and get them to use their Fatal Push? I think that's probably okay. They could have... I forgot to check it and see if they had Daze. That was a misplay. But we know that they drew a land, so it doesn't really matter. So this is going to resolve. It's just a question of like whether they push now or whether they wait for something else. So this is kind of baiting for the frog that we will eventually draw. But their mana is getting so high up, like I do feel like we need to start wasting if we can find Wastelands. Ponder's good. I'm going to go ahead and attack first so they don't know that I have a Ponder. They may chill. They do chill. Now I'm just going to ponder. Thoughtseize would be good. There's a Thoughtseize. Murktide is going to be good later. Unfortunately, Murktide is not good enough right now, and I don't want to draw these just in case. I don't have a path to doing anything with these. I'm going to shuffle, and we're rewarded. I'll pass. Okay, they have Hardcast Force up. So we will probably need to bait that out of their hand somehow. Thoughtseize. I'm going to go ahead and attack. I think I'm going to wait a turn on the Thoughtseize. I think hardcasting a Borrower is probably good enough in terms of baiting. But I actually probably would rather have the Bowmaster. They didn't have Bowmaster in their deck. Okay, they're tapping. This is great. This gives me a window to go ahead and resolve my Borrower around their... so I'm going to do this. They could have something scary during this exact turn cycle, but I'm going to be hitting them. All right. And we did go off of Force of Will to do that. Okay. Grafdigger's Cage number 2. I think we do play that out. I'm going to attack first. This shuts off Borrower as a path to them being able to reanimate stuff. Not that they have anything to reanimate. I would love for them to force this. Doesn't look like we're going to get any luck on that. Okay, in a few minutes. My daughter wants to play One Piece. Yeah, I'll just pass. I do want to wait a little bit longer to cast this Thoughtseize, because if I can get them to tap out for something, then I can take something good out of their hand, potentially. Okay, they're being very patient. All right, another Bowmasters. I think this is the moment where we Thoughtseize them. They may just force this. Yep, there's the force. Okay, so their hand is 2 unknowns. That's fine. I didn't really want to take the damage anyway. I just wanted to convert that somehow. Get something done with it. So Bowmasters is going to be really good. It's going to probably significantly improve the clock. It'll basically be like a 1-turn clock when Bowmasters resolves. They're Thoughtseizing me, which sucks. Yeah, I can't do anything about that. But it does reduce their life further. I can't think of what they could possibly have here. They could win. Frog wouldn't do it, I don't think, from this current position. Okay, yeah. So I think they're dead. Like, I am struggling to think of a sequence of draws that get them out of this. I'm just going to attack. There's no reason for me to cast this Ponder. It's better for me to have Force up. Just to defend my attackers. They're dropping to 1. This is fine. I think we just plow this rather than force it. If we force it, they drop to 1. Yeah, I'm just going to force it. I don't want to give them life. Okay, they drop to 1. That restricts their options quite a bit. They have to deal with 2 creatures. We still have plow up in case of an emergency, like a frog, which isn't even really that big of an emergency now. Actually, frog doesn't even matter if that's the only card they have. Turn 11. This is a grinder, but we win. We are 4-0 going into the final round. I'm going to eat dinner with my kids. I'm going to watch One Piece, and then you'll see me in just a second for the final round, the trophy round. Hopefully things work out. We'll see. All right, I got a good night's sleep, and we're back. We're up against likely Beanstalk player Bubba Buttons, who has frequently appeared on the channel as an opponent. It looks like they were most recently, as of more than a month ago, playing Beanstalk. Let's see what they're on today. This is an extremely strong hand against Beanstalk, assuming they don't have a bunch of Wastelands and stuff. I think we could start under City Sewer, and then we could potentially deploy a Bowmaster. Yeah, I'm going to snap keep this. We've got the Plow for the most dangerous thing that they can do, which is either Frog or Murktide. And we got lucky, and they took a while, so we actually have like almost all of our time. Oh no! Bob, you joined the dark side? All right, so this is this could be mono black aggro. This could more likely be Oops All Spells, which we're not. Our hand is not set up to beat. If they take a Ponder, then I am going to assume that they're on Oops All Spells. If they take the Plow, then I will not. Oops All Spells doesn't have a whole lot of mana. I'm using long natural A's for everything. Oh yeah, they're on freaking combo. That sucks. All right. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure you only take that if you're on combo. Okay, so options. We could develop by playing Tamiyo. I think our best bet is just to Wasteland them and replay the previous turn and hope that they don't have enough, like they need a critical mass of mana. And this gives us a window, a very narrow window to draw a Force of Will. Okay, there's a Petal. We're probably dead if they're playing that out. There's another mana. To see a control player resort to Oops, there's this joke that like, they have the mana to activate it. We're going to be able to see their deck. It's just so disappointing though to see a control player switch to combo. There's this joke that like usually like when a control player switches to combo, they're like one step away from quitting Magic. All right, let's take a look at their. Gosh, so disappointing. Okay, I'm gonna pop this out and just get a feel for what's in there. So they're playing 1 Thoughtseize, 2 Thoughtseize, 3 Thoughtseizes. So 3 Thoughtseize, and then we're going to see, in terms of other disruption that they have 1 packed, 2 packed, 3 packed, 4 packed. They have, I'm just trying to see if there's anything non-stock about their list. It looks like they have 1 Cabal Therapy that I see. So I don't think that Consign is going to be good enough against this deck, but it is possible if they stumble. I'm trying to think, are there any other questions I want to ask about this? We're not going to go to time, so I'm just going to take a moment to screenshot this. Hopefully this doesn't screw up the recording. All right. Yes, it's still working. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. I'll just let them go from here. Yeah. I mean, like my win record against Oops is like I probably have like a 75% win rate. I beat it at Eternal Weekend. It's just that, sometimes like they almost always get round 1 because they surprise you. And then it just comes down to freaking luck, really, for games 2 and games 3, whether you find your hate cards. All right. They've already seen my hand. I don't think there's any reason to show them more. Did we see Memory's Journey in here? I don't see a Memory's Journey. It could be in hand. But, okay. So, Memory's Journey does give them an angle to win. I'm going to take out all the plows, I think. I'm going to bring in maybe some Prismatic Endings. Bowmasters, frankly, just too slow. It just doesn't get the job done. Like we needed to. And it's not blue, so it doesn't pitch to Force. So that's why I would argue taking that out. Surgical is a slam dunk. I do think we probably play Consigns. Do we? I mean, it's a pretty janky card. I think I do go up to 4 Prismatic Endings because this can end like Xanadu Swarm, whatever it's called, Xantid Swarm. It can end other disruption spells they may have. And it can also potentially kill the 3-drop guy if we have 3 mana. I know that's like unlikely. Oh, what else do we take out? Borrower doesn't do a lot. I mean, it could bounce like a token out of play if we're late game. It is a blue card. Bowmaster can remove the bridge from below in some scenario where they're like going off. I don't want to get into that situation though. I think Consign is good enough because Consign can stop the ETB trigger as well for the guy that comes into play. So I think it'd be a mistake not to play all 4 Consign. Grafdigger's Cage basically stops the combo. So I think Borrower is probably weak. Murktide is pretty weak too. It is blue. It does close the game. Tamiyo is not horrible because we can play her after we stabilize and then we can use it to regrow our cards and we can end the game that way. I like the fact that she's cheap. Orcish Bowmasters, they don't have any cantrips in their entire deck. It really just, it doesn't do a lot. It can ping a Narcomoeba out of existence, but that's it. I don't know that we need this many Murktides. It feels bad cutting a blue card. And then the other card that we can cut, I don't know. I think like most likely the way this game ends is, oh, I got 15 seconds. I'm just going to submit with just fewer Murktides. I genuinely think that we're going to need to get card advantage and just slowly, carefully, surgically take them out. Hopefully this submission worked. I've got 12 seconds left. It's going to be horrible if my submission is not received for some reason. Okay, it is received. All right, so we boarded in a lot of hate cards. Gosh, oh, this does nothing initially, and I could easily see us stalling out. I could easily see a Thoughtseize, crumpling this. I want a mulligan. I'm on the play. I want to get Grafdigger's Cage out. This is turn 0 interaction, and it's a turn 1 Tamiyo. There's a good chance they Thoughtseize us turn 1. They're starting with 7 cards. Yeah, I mean, this is one turn 0 interaction. I wish I had more. I could just ponder to find a Daze or a Force. I think that's totally legit and probably better than playing Tamiyo. So we'll just put back one of these lands. They didn't have any pregame actions, which is nice. I am going to start by pondering here for one of our many interaction spells. Daze. Oh, but we have to draw a land if we take this. Yeah, I hate to do this, but I do think we need to draw that Daze just to have some game against them. Because if they have Pact for our surgical, that's really bad. So what we'll do next turn is we'll be able to play Tamiyo and we'll be able to surveil. And if we're not able to play Tamiyo next turn and we're only able to surveil, we still need to do that. 8 cards in hand. Okay, shock. I will Daze this. I don't want them to have information. Are they going to pay for Daze? They do have Spirit Guides. That is less mana for their go off turn. Okay, so they are going to be able to Thoughtseize me, sadly. They're going to see that I have literally nothing, a stone, nothing, and then they're going to have a clear path to go off next turn. Yeah, I'm definitely trying my hardest here. I don't know, I don't think mulliganing to 5 to try to find a Force. I don't think keeping that hand that just had Force and no mana was correct. They would have just Thoughtseized it out of our hand, and then we would have been sitting there with nothing for several turns. They actually took a Tamiyo. What the hell does that mean? Why would they take a Tamiyo? So I think I could just play out a Tamiyo. I'm foregoing I don't have really any way to interact. They're not going to be playing some sort of mana denial card like a Daze. I think I'm just going to play her out. That Thoughtseize on Tamiyo is so puzzling to me. Maybe they were just trying to reduce the odds that I draw like a Force. Maybe they can win through surgical. Their deck does have kind of like a fail rate where it can't assemble the right mix of mana. Like if they're languishing over there with not enough mana because they had to pay for that Daze on Thoughtseize, that might be one reason. I can't understand why they would take a Tamiyo there. We are going to be able to get an extra card next turn if we don't do anything. We're drawing wild. I'm narrating like literally every aspect of the game because this damn deck, and I will damn this deck. Like I don't like turn 0 decks. I don't think that they're healthy and good for the format. I think okay, Spoils of the Vault. All right, what did they name? So they just get to name a card? It was on the top. Okay, well that sucks. They had no way of knowing it was on top. They literally just, they just cantripped into that card. They put a Pact under there. It's very bad for me. Here's the Dark Ritual win. So they must have a backup Pact. Charbelcher. I'm trying to think of how we can ever possibly beat this, but this does explain why they didn't take the surgical. I think we're super duper dead. They just need 3 mana to activate. So even if we find a Prismatic Ending to take out that Mox, they're just 1 mana away from activation. Wasteland plays. Consign to Memory does not. It's an activated ability. I don't think Consign to Memory does anything here. Trying to think of Is there anything we can do? I don't think there is. I think we're dead. They have no reason to do anything but untap and Charbelcher me. There's no, like, I have to make my land drop, so I'm not going to find a Wasteland. I think we're just dead. So frustrating to lose this way. Yeah, and then there's nothing I can draw at this point because the card's already on the table. Yeah, the trophy run is dead. We were so close to getting a trophy. I got a great night's sleep. I woke up. By the way, unsolicited advice, do not wait. Okay, so why are they waiting? Do not wait to play your 5th round, because like I was like tossing and turning. Oh, I got a trophy run going on. Like it just felt unresolved in my mind. Yeah, I am going to go ahead and activate this. It's an activated ability. There's no way that Consign can, if you're screaming at me about Consign, there's no way that that can interact. Yeah, we're dead. We will take, 30 damage and then we will die. Minus 30, yeah. All right. Well, we can draw to see what we would have gotten. Oh, it like kicked us out of the game. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, so another trophy run ruined by a turn 1 combo deck, or turn 0, I like to call them, because a lot of times it is your turn 0 and you just die. Observations about the deck. The deck felt tight. Deck felt great. We had some bad luck against Oops. I don't think our sideboard strategy of bringing in the consigns was bad by any means. It would have just kind of accidentally, we would have just Mr. Magoo'd our way into a victory had we had the consign in hand. The mulligans were not kind. Neither of those 2 hands were great. I don't think it was correct to go even lower when we had surgical, and the sideboard juke of bringing in the Goblin Charbelcher, that's pretty rare. That doesn't come up a lot. So anyway, I'm going to jump back in and play some more. I'm probably going to do the challenge, so you'll see a challenge video on the channel soon. And I'm just going to keep having fun and playing with this deck. I love it. Let's show the deck again. Here. Here's the deck. So every card has been pulling its weight. Brazen Borrower hasn't seen just a ton of opportunities to use it, but in theory it should be really flexible. Oh yeah, we did flash in a Brazen Borrower and kill an opponent that way. So during a stalled out board state against, I think it was a blue-black tempo deck, or it was Reanimator. Yeah, this deck feels amazing. I love Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize has been so good the entire 2 weeks or so that I've been playing this deck. I love it, and just expect to see more videos on this. If you don't like this, you're probably not watching anymore. But if you do like Esper tempo or tempo in general, don't worry. After Frog gets banned, which is almost certainly going to happen on December 16th, I am going to still probably play tempo. I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun. I feel like I'm getting a lot better as a player playing tempo. The deck that I'll switch to, I'll probably switch to I think blue-red will be good again, because Dragon Rage Channeler is an insane card. It's just not as insane of a card as Psychic Frog, and 2-color mana bases are really good. I mean, there's a chance that we could be doing some sort of Team America. No, Team America was blue, black, green. It was a classic Magic the Gathering deck, but the Patriot aggro is what they call it. But almost every country's colors are red, white, blue. France's, Russia's, everybody uses red, white, blue, right? So it's just a America-centric viewpoint that red, white, and blue are the American flag. I think the Netherlands uses it. I can't think of all the different countries that use red, white, and blue. Anyway, I'll probably be using some red, white, and blue, or just straight red, blue, or blue, white. There is a chance if the volume of Fatal Pushes goes down, and if fewer people are playing removal. Right now, everybody has to play removal because an unchecked Psychic Frog is GG. But, an unchecked Delver or an unchecked Elvish Reclaimer or some other powerful 1-drop is not necessarily GG, and I do suspect that spot removal is going to go down format-wide. People aren't going to be playing 6 removal spells in their deck anymore. They're going to maybe be playing 2 or 3, even combo decks are playing 3 removal spells, 4 removal spells, right? So I do suspect that I'll just go to some other tempo variant, and the most obvious versions are blue-white, Stifle Knot, which gives me Stifle, which is one of my favorite cards. I just love stifling people's fetches for some reason. It's just something in my brain ha ha ha, gotcha. I'll probably go to blue-white Stifle Knot once Frog gets banned, or I'll go to blue-red, just aggro, basically just classic Delver. I'm not sure what cards will stay. I'm pretty sure Tamiyo will have a place in that. Maybe not. Maybe the format, maybe she'll be more of a control deck card. And then I'll probably play like maybe Bant control or Jeskai control. If they ban Nadu, I'll go back to playing Bant. I just don't like playing Nadu. Like, I know I recorded the video with the two, Eternal Weekend players that were from Boston who are very strong with the deck and had spent a lot of time with the deck. But like, I do fundamentally think Nadu is an R&D mistake and that it's not very fun to play with or against. I'll miss Breakfast being a tier deck once they remove it. But I do think that it'll make it a lot easier to play Bant. Because right now, if you're playing Bant, like, okay, why aren't you playing Nadu? Any combination of colors that has, green and blue in it, why aren't you playing Nadu, And I look forward to being able to do, like, not just do the correct thing and play Nadu, but to do the thing that feels right and play a broader variety of, decks. Alern is a deck if the format slows down. I do like Alern a lot. I don't know if Alern will be good as long as Bowmasters is in wide circulation. Whether this is because eventually they will print enough X2 creatures that Bowmasters will stop being that great. But right now, like, I think we played against like an elf deck recently against Nadu. Like, there are just so many X1 creatures that you can poke, and it really makes Orcish Bowmasters good. And also, Wizard seems to be printing a lot more cards that put cards into your hand instead of drawing to get around the Bowmaster trigger. So I do think like future printings are going to weaken this card a lot. And I also don't think that Thoughtseize and Bowmasters are enough reason to splash black when you could be, playing red and playing cards like, one card that is just insane right now, in my opinion, is Price of Progress. Like, so Price of Progress does 2 damage to each player for however many non-basics they play. And like a lot of decks just play non-basics. So it's like, take 8, takes 10, against Eldrazi, like a single Price of Progress can end the game. Out of nowhere, right? So, especially if they're like tapping Ancient Tombs and stuff. So I do like red for that reason, and I think Price of Progress is so much more powerful of a strategy against Eldrazi than Blood Moon type strategies are. I'm excited to potentially play red again, but right now there's no justification for playing red. Hats off to James Kisao, who plays Grixis Control. I can't get behind that. I genuinely don't think red is strong enough right now. And I don't think there's enough reason to be playing red. Unless you're going like straight mono red. Obviously, Painter and Moonstomper are really good. Okay, so you didn't watch the whole video to just hear a bunch of my random thoughts, but there you go. I had a blast playing this. I think things went really well until that final round against Bob Buttons. Bless his heart. May he come back to playing control, because I really enjoyed playing him as a control opponent a lot more than as a turn 0 combo player. But yeah, until next week, or next week, hopefully tomorrow, I'll have a video up. I know you live for nothing more than to sit down and watch me play Magic for 2 hours. Hopefully you're watching these on double speed. Hopefully you're making use of the timestamps. But I just want to thank you again for tuning in, and hopefully leaving a comment, subscribing if you haven't subscribed yet. Help me get to 1,000 so I can get in the MTGO creator program, and be excellent to each other and party on.